Okay, ready? Okay, I'll call the St. John Board of Waterworks meeting together for May 17th. Please take roll.
Nick Furtek,
Present.
Bill Manasopoulos, absent. Ken Gambala,
Here.
Joe Wizawati,
Present.
Wayne Pondinas.
Present.
Due to the fact that there's only two of you, all votes have to be unanimous.
Okay. All right, we have the minutes to approve for April 19th. Any questions or additions? If not, motion to approve.
I'd like to second that motion to approve.
I'll second it. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. And that would be it. There was 4 pages to it. Any new business? We got that first on the agenda for some reason. I think we have it. Everything's under old business. Okay, under old business, I'll take them one at a time here. Let's discuss the bid for the contract one on water main replacement projects that was brought up at our last month's meeting. We only received one bid. It was voted to take it under advisement. Do you have a report you want to give us on that?
Good evening, Scott Kupta with Haas and Associates. Yeah, so recap, we received one bid last month for that. The alternate B that we would take on that was 2.04 million and change. This is quite a bit higher than our engineer's estimate that was done for the bond only a year ago, last spring for the 2021 bond. Obviously, there is significant inflation going on around us, but in addition to material inflation, there also seems to be labor shortage within these trades. So we've heard of getting one bids and no bids for other projects. So unfortunately, I think we're in that area now. So this project is not in isolation. Of course, it's part of a roster of other projects that the town intends to fund with the bond revenue from last year. We met with Joe Wizawati and Bob Davis and Wayne Pondinas on Monday this week. Circulated some email follow-ups after talking to the contractor. I'm sorry, a week ago Monday, not yesterday. A week ago yesterday. So we did receive a revised price from the contractor to only execute a portion of this contract one. The contract one was actually 4 independent sites, 4 independent water main projects. We did ask for a revised price from them just to perform the West 85th portion of the project, which is site 4 in the contract. They did provide us a cost for that of $4,031.31. That was actually, as a percentage basis, even higher than the overall percentage over our original estimate. That's not surprising, of course. You know, the more volume, the more discount you get on the price. So cutting back the total work for that project as a percentage basis, that actually went up. But certainly that's only half the amount of the total contract if the board wanted to get something going and pursue that. Another option, of course, is just to rebid this at a later date. We're working with one set of numbers here from one contractor, so we're quite limited in our ability to really assess where things are in terms of competitiveness doing one
about
bid.
this is that what it doesn't include now is the most restoration. The other bids, or the other portions of had a lot of restoration because of driveway cuts and so forth, and this is
Yep.
just the side of the road.
Yeah, it is under the road, so that there are significant costs for that, unfortunately, due to that. We are hoping that the intent of the town is to pave that road within the 2023 season. It's in pretty bad shape, so it is still would be good for the water main to get replaced before the road is repaved. So there is some incentive to do it now or early next year. That said, it's quite a bit higher on the price. So we did map out, if this 30 to 50% increase on the bond estimated projects, I mean, you're just not going to have enough money to get some of the core projects done for Wells 8 and 9 and US 41 and some other projects that are in that bond
I could see by
roster.
all the correspondence, emails concerning this in your meeting and Bob Davis and everything that take out more than we need to out of our bond issue.
Yeah.
And the wells obviously are most important right now. And, what Murphy's Law is in engineering, what will go wrong at the worst possible time, and that's what's going to happen with probably some of these other projects already. We've lost some money just on 41. I don't know. I think we ought to put it at least under advisement right now, on hold.
Heck with
That's a lot of money for $1 million just for that section of water main.
Yep.
That's pretty excessive.
I think right now prices are crazy. Supply chain's messed up, manpower's messed up right now. I think it's just not a really bad time in terms of getting projects done right now. I mean, and not just here, anywhere right now. Right now, I think our priority should be the well 8 and 9. Those are moving forward. That's, a whole capacity issue. I think Bob Davis, Wayne, and I are in agreement on that right now we take a look at getting that, completed before we, move into the next phase. So, Wayne, do you have any thoughts on that with respect to, moving forward on this?
I think that those guys are right to hold off. Through the emails that came through during the week, it was kind of like, okay, let the well be more important than anything. And maybe go back to rebid that the Primrose to Magnolia, that project that was really done by the construction company, and see what happens maybe in the spring.
Yeah.
And maybe things will change. But all your money out there, we bond money, but that bond money is for certain things, for wells 8 and 9, the SCADA system. So I think maybe it'd be better off to wait, but that's up to those guys that are on the board.
Okay, and that was a request also from Bill that what major items tonight that we maybe table them, which we're doing anyhow. So let's maybe a motion to table this project at the time until a different time in the future.
So would it be appropriate to defer action on this, or just to reject the bids, or what's the?
In fairness to the contractor, if we're not going to award it, the sooner they know, the better, and
Right.
everyone can go on their way. If we do want to table it, maybe I didn't quite hear, but if there was some intent that maybe the board, you have 60 days. The way that falls is it's Murphy's Law. It's just before your next regularly scheduled meeting. So if you did want to take official action, it'd have to be a special meeting. I think it's like the
it should be
64th day.
communicated to him was what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And that's because of the cost over what we
Sure.
budgeted, that can't consider it at this time,
Yeah.
so.
So I think you can either let the 60 days run out, or you can officially vote and just reject the bids. I think it's 6 of one, half dozen of another.
Well, I think it would be, to your point, I think it'd probably be best to let the contractor know that, we're not going to move forward on the project.
Yeah, and then they can release their bonds for the bid bond and all
Yeah,
that.
but is there anything required of the board right now in terms of, a motion to, reject the bids, or?
I think that would be as simple as that,
Yeah.
yeah. You're not going to award the project. and-
Right.
A motion to reject the bids and put the project on hold at this time. I'll second that. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Okay,
If I could just comment too, just for general awareness, we did actually several months ago, Matt and Ken was there too as staff. Joe wasn't on board yet, but the intent of releasing this bid was to get some pricing feedback from the market too. So unfortunately, it wasn't the best news, but it is feedback. So at least there's some information to guide us as we go with those other projects forward.
maybe you could get a feel at some time how the contractors are starting to feel about work and
Yeah.
whether they're able to do more of them will be able to bid.
I mean, in general, we do think bidding in the fall for next season is probably going to be our best bet. Smaller projects, more flexibility. Instead of, in normal markets, grouping the projects, more work for contractors is good, get better prices. It's a crazy market. We actually think smaller markets, more dissected, might be better, but nobody really knows right now what's going on. It's a strange world, unfortunately, but.
Wayne, you have anything else to add for that particular item? Is he still there?
Yeah, Wayne?
Unmute yourself, Wayne.
Can you unmute him?
In a cloud?
Oh, okay.
And, I'm sorry, another comment, maybe while we're waiting for Wayne, another just comment, we have the plans ready to go. These projects do need to happen. There have been several repairs just this week on West 85th under this section, so, you know, it may not happen under the bond funding, or it may just happen at a later date under the bond funding, but unfortunately, these projects do have to happen at some point in the coming years. We've got the plans ready to go at this point, so whenever we have the money, we can go out to bid on these 4 sites.
You could stay up there. We got one more item that I'm going to look for a motion to table, and that's this was put on there for Bill's request. That's the adjustment for seniors, so a motion to table that.
I was like,
Kenny, yeah,
Is that? Okay.
go ahead with your vote, Ken. All right.
I didn't get all that.
Wayne, can you repeat that?
Yeah, I told Kenny, go ahead with the vote. I thought he was voting on something, to take something.
Yeah, they rejected the bid on that.
Okay, but then I thought Kenny was voting on something that I think that Billy's going to do.
Oh, that's for the water billing for
Yeah,
seniors.
That it was put on there for his request, and he also emailed that he wanted that to be tabled for tonight.
All right, then is there anything on the agenda for that the altitude valve at chlorine, the chlorine for both the treatment, most treatment plants?
I didn't get that.
There should be something on the agenda for an altitude valve, chlorine, some equipment for.
I'm going to move on to that, Wayne. I was just want to get that one off the.
Oh, okay. I don't have the agenda in front of me. So I'm
Okay, hold on. We'll get to that.
okay.
So let's table the adjustment for seniors. Okay, I'll second that. All in favor?
aye.
Aye, motion carried. Keep it on the agenda, though. All right, old business updates, the contract. I don't have copies of that contract for the chlorine and the elevated
I don't have anything.
elevation
Altitude valve.
valve,
Altitude
right?
valves, yeah.
But we had to move ahead on that, because that was basically a necessary item that had to get done, more of an emergency.
Yeah, I
basis.
thought I sent that to you guys.
Yeah, you did. I
Yeah,
didn't
an
bring
email.
it. I didn't bring it.
It's in. Okay, so the altitude valve, I don't have the exact figures, was like 53,000, 55,000, and you got to have the paperwork in front of you, okay, right?
Are we okay in it, you said?
Well, the okay, you need to have the request purchase in front of you, I believe.
I don't think we have an RTP for that.
I sent them. I'm almost positive I sent everybody a copy of that. And then there was a thing for chlorine for both plants for 31,000.
Hold on a minute. He's looking it up.
That's what I'm trying to look for it myself.
It's from August.
I remember the discussion on it, I just don't have the paperwork.
It's from the electric company, right? For $6,000.
Well, no, it was, both treatment plants was about 1,000.
that
6,000, and then you add that with the other stuff. But the total was 31,000.
That's the first time I'm looking at that.
That's
Hold on, Wade, we're looking for it.
That's an analyzer.
Analyzer. There you go. Thank you, Jason.
Oh, yeah, okay, if you add them all up.
Total cost 19K.
Well, no, that's just for that, the
That's for,
chlorinator for
right.
the mnemonics. And then you had 2 6s, one for gates and another one for that. So your total cost should be somewhere, I don't know.
there you go. I don't remember seeing this.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing that either.
Out of 6, I would have said something about that.
If you can forward that to me, I can print it off.
Okay.
But it's also the wrong request to purchase.
Yeah, that's for the council.
Yeah, and it needs to be the Waterworks board because that's going to be coming out of the water bond. So we're going to have to redo the RTP.
Yeah.
That's from Wayne. Do I send that to you, Don?
Yeah, go ahead and send it to me, please.
Okay.
So did you find that CP, Jason?
Yeah, the art, go ahead, Jason, I'm sorry.
Nick is going to send the request to purchase to me. I will generate a new one that is with the water board signatures instead of the town council signatures, since it'll be coming out of the water bond. I think you're okay to approve it verbally and then sign it after the fact.
Yeah, I
But this is
remember when
just,
I saw it was Bob Davis's signature, and then it was just the town council signature because it was over $4,000.
Yeah.
right.
And I would actually just read that as part of the motion, and then the total amount and who it's to, as part of the request to purchase, to approve the request to purchase for that. And then
Yeah, for the-
just to have it signed later.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
That'll-
way at least the formality part of it's done.
All right, so moved. I don't know the amount, I didn't hear.
Yeah, do you have the RTP again?
Yeah. It was for 19,410.
Yeah, I'm just,
Yeah,
so we have it as part of the record,
Need a
so.
motion to
so-
approve the request to purchase.
Right, so the request to purchase should be for Austin Electric for installing a chlorine analyzer at Gates Treatment Plant for $6,244, for Monic Treatment Plant for $6,244, and for an chlorinator valve at Monic Treatment Plant for $19,412, for a combined total of $31,898. And that would be a motion to approve the request to purchase for Austin Electric.
Nick, you approve with that?
And the appropriation would be the water bond.
I'll second that.
Yes,
Yep.
water bond.
Instead of repeating that, when Nick approved with that motion,
Yeah.
Just say so
the
moved,
record,
Nick.
I'll second
That-
it.
Just say so moved.
So moved.
So moved.
All
All in
right.
favor signify by
Aye.
aye. Aye, motion carried. Now we need another one for the request to purchase on the altitude valve.
Yes.
So then that
We're
one-
looking for that one.
This one here it is right there.
It's going to take a while to get that altitude valve. That's going to take probably 3 months or more.
Yeah, so
And
this
they won't
one,
be able to,
yeah, so this motion would be to approve the RTP for Austin Electric to install Ross altitude valve at Kilkenny Water Tower for $59,154. That's $5,154, and this would again be paid out of water bond.
Nick, you want to say move?
Yeah. Let's move forward on that. Yep.
I moved.
Yep.
Approve, okay.
After that, yep.
Second, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. Okay, I think we got those two covered. Are you going to change the wording then on the request to purchase or for
I'll
signatures?
fix up the request to purchases so that it requires your signatures, and then you'll sign the request to purchases because it's coming from the water bond, and the attorneys specifically said that anything that is coming from the water bond has to be signed by the water board. Waterworks board, sorry.
Okay, we got those two out of the way.
Yep.
Next item then under old business is going to be, let's see, I got my paperwork messed up here. You want to bring us up to date now on the US 41?
Sure. I don't have the dates right in front of me, but within the last couple of months, we were notified by INDOT that there's potentially new conflict with a water main and a sanitary force main. This is on the west side of US 41 as it crosses the St. John Ditch. There's a box culvert that runs in a diagonal from the southwest to the northeast, just north of 101st. They analyzed it. They determined that they could not remove and replace the existing box culvert section. This is virtually the last section. Well, our understanding is it's a continuous box culvert now. They'll be replacing it with a more modern section-by-section box culvert. It's virtually the same size culvert. They're just taking the old one out and putting a new one in. The town has two facilities on top, 12-inch sanitary force main and a 12-inch water main. So as I said, INDOT discussed internally for some period of time, and within the last 2 weeks notified us that officially they're requesting that the town move, support, or temporarily relocate those facilities while they do that box culvert replacement work. So I met with Bob Davis the other day. So this is basically just an in-process update. We're looking at the most cost-effective, least painful way to do that. So I'm here to provide that update to the water board and also the sanitary board about that facility.
So they're doing the work, or we got to pay the bill, or what?
Unfortunately, state law is such that within the state right-of-way, the town has a right to be within the right-of-way. However, the state has a right to make improvements, and the local utilities have to either move, vacate, or whatever they have to do in order to allow the state to make those roadway improvements. The box culvert is an extension of their roadway improvements.
What do you recommend is best for us to do?
We're looking at a few options in terms of both. We don't think, based on the conflict area, that temporary support is going to be a viable option, cost-effective option. It's going to involve quite a bit of engineering that will ultimately have to be approved by the state as well. They've made that clear. Alternatives include temporarily shutting down that water main, removing that pipe and putting it back. I mean, the painful part of this is there's not an actual conflict with the structure. There's a conflict with the construction of the structure. The pipes can go back in the exact same place they are now. We just were discussing this week. We got some positive feedback from a contractor that I won't name. It's just in process, but about directionally drilling underneath the river, which would allow that main to either remain in service except for a few days of connecting, or possibly remain in service for the entire time that it's replaced. The benefit of that is, one, what I just said, that the main would remain in service. It's a pretty important main on the west side. We do have a 12-inch system network on the east side, the Ravenswood commercial subdivisions and Target and all of that. But this is straight north of the treatment plant, so it's pretty high velocity stuff coming through there, serve the whole northwest part of town. So that would be the incentive, keep that in place, keep that service going. It also might be the most cost-effective and most timely to just drill a new one. Another benefit to that is it theoretically, till INDOT comes again, but theoretically could be a more permanent solution, at least for the water main, to get it under the creek, under the river. And no matter what they do with that box culvert in the future, we should be okay. But that will depend probably on some pricing and basically contractor feedback. So we'll probably be developing this a lot over the coming weeks and coming to you at next month's board meeting, maybe with requests for action to either go for quotes or bids, maybe as alternates, one remove and replace as open trench, and then alternate would be to drill underneath. Just see which one comes in with a more cost-friendly benefit to the town.
Yeah, more on it for the next meeting.
Yes, definitely. And we'll keep you updated in between now and then, of course, so you're informed for your discussion going into that. We'll be working with Bob and Joe on that to see what we can do.
What kind of costs are we looking at, Scott?
Well, we did a very, very preliminary. I just want to be clear, we have not done any design in this, but just looking at the lengths in the pipe and some rough numbers, we're looking at maybe 150,000, maybe 170. That was for the remove and replace of both the water main and the sanitary. But we haven't looked at it, cost of drilling it, of horizontally drilling it.
The reason why I asked, they never did this for the 12-inch water main that they hit. They made us move our sanitary line once down a little south of there. That cost us 110 or 115,000, and then they come back and said we didn't have to do that. Now they're telling us this. We should have to pay the whole bill on this. I mean, we have to stand up. I think the security man. Don't they have to have a bond? So if something like that happens, we can hold them liable for something? We put a lot of money in nothing.
Are you referring to the force main project with a bond? Is that what you were talking about, Wayne?
Yeah. Well, yeah, the force main, yeah. Remember with that? I think we even gave them a piece of property. Then we hit our force main. Hit our water main. That was $12,000 damage there. We had to have sales fix it. We're taking some awful big hits as a town. If we were a smaller town like down south a little bit, Schneider and that, how could a town like that pay for this stuff? This was not in the plan a few years ago. It came up this year, if I understand it right. So how do we have to jump through these hoops? I mean, we don't have money to out there behind the town hall.
I mean, to Wayne's point, to Wayne's point, was this actually part of the original scope of the project, or is this something that came up as a change?
So the box culvert was in the INDOT plans. As I said, the nature of this conflict is it's only a conflict because of the construction process that they go through to remove and replace that. So I've heard that. I'm not sure where that comes from, but that was in the INDOT plans from, I think it's a 2020 set of drawings from INDOT, if I'm correct. But what Wayne is speaking to is within those plans through multiple projects and coordination on other conflicts. INDOT has then since changed the scope. The town has executed several of these relocation projects, or the manner in which we've executed them has been because of those INDOT plans that then INDOT changes midway through in the town. So, for instance, the water main replacement between 101st and 101st, we lowered that far below the 5-foot normal depth in order to accommodate an INDOT ditch, ditch swale that was supposed to go in there. So we were down 8, 9, 10 feet at one point, immediately next to a storm sewer structure. So it was quite an expensive excavation for the town. INDOT ended up just eliminating that ditch and sodding it, and all that extra depth was unnecessary as a water main. Then on the west side, the same 12-inch force main further south, not very much farther south than where we're talking about this conflict. Similar situation. There was going to be an INDOT ditch that was supposed to be installed there. Haas and Associates worked with INDOT trying to get them to eliminate that ditch or shift the ditch. They said that was not possible. We went, and that's, I think Wayne's referring to a $110,000 project that the sanitary district funded last year, 2 years ago. INDOT ended up not constructing approximately half of that drainage ditch. So that work to lower, not all of that project, but half the scope. So I think that's what Wayne's sort of speaking to, is just, unfortunately, it's plans change, and, it's, you're sort of caught in the middle here. That's a little bit beyond our pay grade in terms of what the town's responsible for, specifically with NDOT. We did generate and send around a memo maybe last year about this issue, about just laying out some of the state's rights and the town's rights. As I said, the gist of it is the town has a right to be in the state right away with its facilities, as do some of the other core utilities such as NIPSCO Gas, NIPSCO Electric, Communications, and then sanitary and water. But there's another right that the state has to construct facilities within their right away, and if you're in the way, you have to move. So it's kind of a competition of these two rights. Also in that memo, just interested, Wayne was commenting on communities that didn't have these fines. There are actually some thresholds. If the facility relocation exceeds a certain percentage of the, I think it's the revenue, some sort of the financial threshold within that sanitary district, then actually they won't have to pay for those smaller communities. But I don't know. I think that's not a very large amount. So towns usually end up having to pay. Certainly, I would recommend we do everything we can to confirm over and over again that there is no other possible way that that NDOT can replace this culvert without those facilities moving.
And we're going to have a meeting with them Friday?
That meeting has changed several times just today, so I'm not sure when that meeting is. But we'll try to coordinate it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that project's been laboring along for far too long. And I don't know who screwed that project up, but that's definitely a mess. And I hear about it every day from residents, from everybody. So, yeah.
It's definitely a mess. It's definitely a mess. The reality is, as I said, some of this is frustrating. Communications are not great on this. Some of it is just life, unfortunately. We're all sharing that right away. And as I said, what the board and the residents need to understand too is, for instance, town right away. If you own the town owns 85th. If NIPSCO Gas is in the way of a town road widening project, generally speaking, NIPSCO has to move at their cost. So the town benefits in that case. This is the one major state right away in town. Kind of shoes on the other foot. We're just a local utility in the state's right away, unfortunately. So these are some of the costs that come with it. So we'll report more next month.
Pass on the information when you can.
Sure, we'll do.
Thank you. Just for information into the record, you received a application permit for well 8 that Housing Associates applied to the state. We don't need to take any action on this. Also, with that, we received a well site survey from Indiana Department of Environmental Management on well 8. There's 18 items there. Nothing stands out as an issue. So there's nothing I think we need to do about that. Just know that that has been processed. Any other old business or project updates? If not, I'll move on to payment of the bills. Jason, you have anything?
No, not at this time.
Okay. APV for May 17th in the Water District for $39,499.97. Any corrections? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to,
I'll second it. All in favor signify by aye.
aye.
Aye. Motion carried. We have the utility docket for May 17th for a total of $374,818.29. Any questions, additions? If not, motion to approve.
Motion to approve payment.
I'll second it. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Anything else for the board, public comment, Water District? Hearing none, motion to adjourn.
Did you have, wait, did you have something?
You have something for Water District?
I had a quick question.
Can you state your name, please? and-
Yes, Jim Zarnick, 8720 Verbena Court. Just curious how long a section we're talking about with the water main and the force main and the culvert that needs to be replaced. Is it like 50 foot or is it like 200 feet?
Milestone, the contractor for NDOT has, Milestone, the contractor for NDOT has stated they need 75 foot both south and north of the center line of the ditch. So 150 foot is essentially the conflict, or the conflict area.
So tough
In
to
Broadway.
support that for 150 feet.
There's a few issues, with that.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Any other comment? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second that.
Second, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Motion adjourned.
We haven't given up